Okay, now let's listen. We got started here in this Indian Tefillin. I see there's a couple of places coming up where this same treatment is going on, but I think that we have to read through it and try to make the best of it. So we're on page uh, Reish Sadi Dalit, and we got to the place where it says O Daki B'Zaysa Habayim Nimshachim. That's where we're at right now. O Daki B'Zaysa Habayim Nimshachim. So we have a Yud Kei Vav Kei. So he said, Yotzim Menu Dalit Shemus Ela, though these four names come out of them also. So he matches up Os Yud Nimshach Shem Akia B'Milu Yudin. The first Hey Shem Akia B'Milu Elofim, Os Vav Nimshach Shem Akia B'Milu Hain, Os Hey Achrona Nimshach Shem Adni B'Miluo. So now we threw an Adni there for that last hey. We understand that those ideas a little bit, but what he's doing is he's matching the Havaya with the Akia and the Miluim of the Akia plus Adni. Veda Rabadal the Shemus Gam came Kolman Dalan Parshios. So each one of them, I'm not sure translate this, include four Parshios shall Tefillin al Seder Shalachem Kol Shem Beparsha Echad. So I'm not sure which names he's talking about there. I guess he's talking about the Ekiyas and the Adni at the end. So they also are some way associated with the Spheros or with the Seder of the Parshas. Okay, so where are we now? We're reading just to say we're reading instructions to the Sofer. Nimsa Shekodim Sheyichtav Parshas Kadesh. Yikavin ki call the parsha lazos he yud shel avaya pshuta. So the whole parsha here, he says, is the yud shel avaya pshuta. Now I don't know. You may know. I don't know very much about this at all. So I'm just reading what he's saying. Maybe you know. Will we do it differently, or I don't know. But he has this concept of what's going now. V'hi avaya echod the av the yudin. He gam came shem Akia the Yudin. So what is he talking about? He's talking about this first or this parsha of Kadesh. That's the Havai the Yudin and an Akia the Yudin. Because of sheyichtach at the parsha, but before you write the parsha, that parsha, you come and you call the parsha Lazos. He rishon shel Havai b'shuta. So now you move to different state. He Havai I guess echad. The milui sag. It's one avaya, but it's an milui form of sag. He gam came shem akia dolofim, and so therefore it goes on to that akia dolofim. Because the sheyikta parsha shema yikavin ki call the parsha zos he vav shel avaya pshuta, and then he's also he avaya. I guess echad. I'm not sure what this aleph means. The milui alofim. Or maybe that's what I'm saying right now. Shehi ma, v'hi shem echad shall shem one name of shall eki demilui hain. Because sheyichtach of the parsha v'chavochayim shemo, and if you get to this one, kavin ki call the parsha zos he os he akroda shall devayim pshuta v'hi chavaya echad demilui hain shehi ben v'hi shem. I guess Shem Echad Shal Adni, or it's the Aleph of Adni. So maybe I can maybe all those were Alephs. So those so the Shem Aleph Shal Adni Amalek is that, and then he shows us the Milui of Adni. Now he goes to Prati Kavana B'Shita Shal Parshas Kadesh, but the Tefillin Shal Rosh, because you have the Tefillin Shal Rosh, you have the Tefillin Shal Yad. So now we're looking at the Rosh, which is easy for me to understand. It's in compartments. After you say this kavana, call parsha before you write any parsha. Od yachsa b'yakavet b'shas kasivas shitas, because so when you're starting to write the different rows, kol sheyichtav shita rishona shall kadesh, the tefillah shall rosh, yekavin ba'os yud pshuta shall kavayach pshuta, v'yikabin ba'os yud the milui shem of the yudin. Now he had two things there. One is the yud pshuta of the chavai pshuta, and then he moves to an av. So these two going together. Now he goes to the next level. These are all little things that some sofer is supposed to be able to have this in mind. Of os aleph the milui eki the yudin. Now if you have an aleph of the milui eki the yudin, also that too. Of a sheet this space, then you go to the next line. You cover ba'oz yud pshuta chapashecha the vayim pshuta. So then you start with that. You cover ba'oz hey. I guess the milui shem of the yudin would be hey yud. Of Oz Hey the Milui Akia the Yudin. So he's always doing like a male and a female side, particular these details of which one is the Kavana. Of Vashita Gimel Yakava Ba'oz Yud Peshuta Shal Levaya Peshuta Yakava Ba'oz Vav the Milui Shem of. Okay, so that's the Vav Yud Vav of the name Vav. Ba'oz Yud the Milui Akia the Yudin. So that Yud there of the Akia the Yudin, which was that 161, a kasa of a shita dalad yikave ba'oz yud b'shuta shalcha via b'shuta ba'oz hey the shame av ba'oz hey the shame akia b'mil yudin. Excuse me. Prati kavana b'shita b'shachar b'parshas v'hoya kipiyacha b'tefillin shavrosh. So now we went to another parsha. Al darig zechet the kaveh b'dal the shita shel parshas v'hoya kipiyacha. The Beshita Rishina, Yukabin Ba'oz Hey Pshuta Rabashacha the Bay Pshuta. So now you're onto the second letter. Yukabin Ba'oz Yud the Shem Sag over Oz Aleph, the Milui Akya the Olofim, come up. Now you go to the next Shita. The Shita base, Yukabin Ba'oz Hey Pshuta, Shal Kabay Pshuta. So you go down to the Oz Hey Pshuta and Abay Pshuta. Yukabin Ba'oz Hey, the Milui Shem Sag. Of hey the milui eki the olofim. Now go into the third sheet of a sheet of gimel yikav ba'oz hey pshuta shel kavayim pshuta of oz vav the milui sag, and also that of oz yud the eki the olofim of a sheet of dalad yikav ba'oz hey pshuta shel kavayim pshuta of oz hey the milui sag, then also that of oz hey the eki the olofim. So there's where you're at there. Pratik Avanda Beshitin shall Parsha Shema, but the Tefillin shall Rosh. Now, Psalm Tefillin shall Rosh. He said, "Al derek zech the Kaveh Bedal the Shita shall Parsha Shema." So we know there's four Shitas. Ki Beshita Rishona Yekavin Oz Vav. So in the first Shita, you have the Kavana for the letter Vav Pshuta Chubshecha the Vav Pshut, and then you learn to move to the third letter. Yekavin Oz Yud the Midlu Shem Ma, and you're working on Ma of the Asmab now. Over Oz Aleph the Milui Akia the Hayin, you moved over there. Vashita base, you come in Oz Vav Beshuta Shal Gavai Beshuta, over Oz Hey the Milui Shem Ma, over Oz Hey the Akia the Hayin. Now you're on the Shita Gimel. Vashita Gimel, you come in Oz Vav Beshuta Shal Gavai Beshuta, over Oz Vav Tamal, over Oz Yud the Akia the Hayin. Of a Shita Hadala, now they come to the fourth Shita, Yekavin Ba'oz Vav Pshuta Shal Kavaya Pshuta, of Oz Hey the Shem Ma, of Oz Hey the Aki the Hain. So that's how it goes, and we'll keep going. Prati Kavana B'Shita B'Shechah Paparshas V'Hoya Im Shemoa. So now these are the details. The Tefillin Shal Rosh. We're still on the Tefillin Shal Rosh, and this is the fourth one. While Derek said, the Kavin B'Dal the Shita Shal Parshas V'Hoya Im Shemoa. Ki B'Shita Rishona, you come in Ba'oz Hey Pshuta Shal Kavaya Pshuta. So now you're in the Hey, I'm assuming it's the final Hey. Ba'oz Yud the Shem Ben, and the first letter of the name Ben. Ba'oz Aleph, the first letter of the name Aki, the name Adni rather. Let me get this down here a little bit. Ba'oz Adni, of B'Shita base, you come in Ba'oz Hey Pshuta Shal Kavaya Pshuta. Ba'oz Hey the Mizbui Shem Ben. Of Oz Dal the Shem Adni. You're back to Adni again. Of a Shita Gimel, now you're the third Shita. You come in Ba'oz Hey Pshuta Hoshel Kabaya Pshuta. Of Oz Vav the Shem Ben. Of Oz Nun the Shem Adni. You got to that third letter now. Of a Shita Dalad, Yikavid ba'oz hey pshuta shal kavai pshuta, v'oz hey the shem ben, v'oz yud the shem adni. So you went through them all. You had the four letters of two different styles of the female style, of the male style, and the female style. I'm sure that if you did this, if you actually were doing this and writing according to this, it would take some time for your first few. And then after that, you might be able to see the correspondence of all of this because it is trying to say Yud Ke Vav Ke and then the name Ekia, etc. Ekia. Instead of Kasa, Kamag, Kana, he goes Kasa, Kamag, Kana, Adni. So he says these are the Kavah. Kavana Kalaliyas, Lakaman Be'ez Kasivas Tefillin Shayad. So here's a general Kavana, he says. About Kavanas Kasivas Dalad Parshas Shal Yad. So now we're talking about the hand tefillin. Hain ba'ofen acher, it's not going to be the same order. The fisha hain b'zayin shitos, because it's in 7 rows instead of 4 compartments. B'tzar are 4, let's say, b'tzarech, that's right, each one is 4. B'tzarech l'chalek a kavana dezayin b'chinas chalokim, so then you have to divide everything up into 7. V'nivar kavana shalachem et derek klal b'techilu b'chein leiluhem. So this is the general idea. Rishona Yekavin El Kabaya Peshuta Kolalas Dalad Parsha. So you said one, just as we, I guess, enumerated the Dalad Parshas. So he says that the Avaya Rishona is 4 letters, and I guess it goes with 4 Parshas. Od Yekavin Ki Dalad Shemos Yotzim Bedalad Osius Avaya Hanaz Behem Shem Sag Baos Yud. So he says what? He said Dalad Yotzim Bedalad Osius Avaya Hanaz. The Haim Shem Sag Ba'os Yud, put Yud put Sag on the Yud, Shem Ma on the first Hay, Shem Ben Ba'os Vav, and Shem Aleph Dalad, he said Behei Achron. Od Yakav and Kedalad Shem is Yotzim Medalad Osius Vayach Anaz, but also there's another idea here that Dalad Shem has come from the 4. Okay. So we're in this last little paragraph here. It says, "Od Yakavin ki dalid shemus yotzim medalid osius vayach naz." So we're starting like that. V'heim akia the yudin ba'os yud, v'akia the lovin ba'os hey rishona, v'akia the hayin ba'os vav, v'shem adni once again in the milui ba'os hey achrona. Now all of these instructions are okay, good for the sofer. So let's go. Bonus Prati Ashitos Parshas Kadesh B'Tefillin Shel Yad. So now we're going to the first parsha, the Tefillin Shel Yad Kadesh. We call Gimel Bechinos Eden Nechlacha B'Dalet Parshas Shel Yad. So all of these 3 Bechinos, what Bechinos with 3? So you're gonna hopefully tell me. We call Gimel Bechinos Eden Nechlacha B'Dalet Parshas Shel Yad. So what are the 3 Bechinos? Ki Kodesh Sheyichta B'Shita Rishona B'Parshas Kadesh. Kami ba'oz yud shal chavaya p'shuta, over shnei shemos shehem akir the yudin v'chavaya desad. So he says you put those 2 together, all that together. Mishulam zeh b'zeh, so they're all mixed up. So I guess all the letters, however that would be together. V'yatim osius akir. So start though with the letters that come from akir, the osius chavaya desad. So you put Ekia before Sag. Okay, probably Ekia is always before Sag. I'm not sure. I always assume that Ekia refers to the Gar and the Sag refers to the Zat, but I'm not sure. The Fi Shahu Tefillah Shal Yad, because it's the hand tefillin now. Why? So why did you put the Ekia first? Oh, so he's telling. Shahi Nekeva, because it's female. So then you start dividing, splitting up these the shitas here of those names, anaz lezayin cholokim bezayin shitas. So you're going to find 7 different ways and 7 different rows. Vehem esrim osius. And we'll count them up all together. There's going to be 21 letters. V'yitzarti machem os yud shal Rabbi Pshuta b'tachidus hakol. So the first thing as you start to do, the first thing, not a little bit complicated for the sofer here, is to have in mind that you're going to put the os yud first. V'yirav hakol kaf alet osius. So now if you add them all up, as you're dividing them up, yihiu gimel osius, there'll be three letters, because shita b'zeha oifet. Okay. Well, I have just a little thing to say that I saw in the Matuk. The Matuk has the idea that when you see these threes, he was particularly talking about over those the 72 names, and each one of them has three letters. And he said that the concept is there. It's really, I think, a sweetened gevuros is what's happening there. And he says that the first one is Chesed, and the one on the left is Gevura, and the one in the middle is, of course, middle line is Tiferes. So he says things always go like that. So here we have the same thing here, which is some combinations of these letters all in threes. I just thought I'd throw that in. Okay, next. Pratich Gavada Peshitin shall Parshas V'hoya Kiviyacha, but the Tefillin Shayad. So now he's going to say how this goes. So he says, V'chein al derek zera yikavin kodin parsha shniya. So before you get to the second parsha now, think in mind this. Hey, Rishona the Havaya Peshuta. You said think of this Havaya Peshuta. The El Shilov, and how you're going to combine base Shemos Shehem Ekia Doholofim V'Chavaya Doholofim V'Yaktim Ekim L'Chavaya. And once again, the Ekia is going to in your kavana. The Ekia is going to be first because you're dealing with the female side. The time now. V'achar kach yachalkom gimel osius. He did the same thing again, because shitin min hazayin shitos al derekanas. Now I believe this is the last page of this, and then he's going to show you the what it actually looks like in a shorter form. Prati kavana b'shitim shal parsha shema b'tefillin shal yad. So now we move to the next parsha. So before writing anything, the kavana should be to the oz vav the Havai Peshuta. So now you're in this section. You're dealing with the number three. So he says so. And so the combination of these two names via the hayin be'ekid the hayin yachad the aknim ekid the Havai once again latam anam. Kaf Aleph Osius, so you have to count them up. I forgot to do that, but there's 21 letters there. And now the Gimel Osius, divide them once again. It's 7 sets of 3. So this seems to be important, the 3s and the 7s, because Shita V'Shita V'Zayin Shitos Al Derek Hanaz. So we have a little bit more. Let's just do a little bit more. Prati Chabrati Gavona B'Shitim Shal Parshas V'Hoya Im Shemoah, but the Tefillin Shayad. So now you're moving to the last one. So he said, "V'chein al derek zeh yikavim kodesh yichta v'hoyim shemoa el hey achron the Havai Peshuta v'el l'shem adni b'melua v'hinei v'ein b'hem ra." So he says, let me go back because I lost Michael Bruce. I don't know if it's coming back. Okay, here he goes. Okay, so let's see if we can just get through this. I got to the point where he said, "V'kein al derek zeh yikavim sheyichta v'hoya im shemoa." Before you write it, El Hey Achron the Havai Peshuta v'el Shem Adni b'Melua. So now you're down at the bottom. So V'hinei Aim B'chem Rak Yud Gimel Osius. Now here, when you combine them, it's only 13 letters. V'lechem Tachsa the Kavin Pam Beis. So then you got to go back and do it a second time. El Os Hey Peshuta. Put that in there. V'achar calls a Yud Gimel Osius. And now after you did all those 13, V'yishtabach the Yud Dal, and you make them into 14 now Osius. But the Halkom the Zalm Shitos base Osius called Shita. Now we only have one more paragraph. Do you have a little bit more time? Are you there, Rabbi? Got to stop? Okay. 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 That is the shear today. This is Baruch Flashman early. What day is today? Today's Wednesday. Early miércoles, if you speak Spanish. And have a wonderful day.